Today we're recording on Gadigal country.
And we'd like to pay our respects to the traditional custodians of the Gadigal people.
I know you're gonna dig this.
It's like I've been given like an extra sprinkle of something.
You got layers.
Yeah, I got layers.
I was just thinking, I'm like, we're just such beautiful storytellers.
You're making a lot of sense today, girl. No, I'm done.
Let's jump into it, honest to God. We had a big week this week.
We did. I mean, you've been in Sydney for the whole weekend.
I know.
Has it been great for you? Are you enjoying the sunshine? Isn't it beautiful?
It has been good. I've had a very social weekend,
Yep.
meeting Mia's friends, family. It's one of her best friend's birthday this weekend.
Okay.
So we spent a lot of time celebrating Kate, which was really nice.
Beautiful. How are you taking to the Shire?
The Shire's good. I mean,
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time in Cronulla.
Yeah, that's the hub of the Shire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's like the centre point, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's like the heart of the Shire.
That's
okay,
right.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It kind of does remind me a little bit like Cottesloe.
Yes.
But awkward, I actually saw my ex's best friend.
Ooh.
I saw him walking with another girl.
Yeah.
And that's probably like the fourth girl I've seen him walking with.
That is so funny because my best friend Emily, I saw her ex walking with this girl, and as soon as I saw him with this new girl, because he put her through the ringer, let me tell you, like, he wasn't a great boyfriend. So I called her and I was like, oh my God, I wanted to warn the girl, like, stay away from this man.
I know, I kind of wanted to do the same thing because I'm like, girl, ain't gonna last. Ain't gonna last. But then I was like, no, I don't care. I was like, kind of wanted him to like selfishly go back and tell Sam.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that bad?
No.
That's toxic. I've done a lot of therapy to be like better than this.
Okay, well, we're going to get into that. But
Yes.
what I want to talk about is before that happened, and at the end of last week, we had an incredible day here at Nova.
We did.
We got to work really closely with the, with a group of people at Nova. A lot of the bosses, actually, the heads of departments and influential
big
people
dogs.
within this building, to start the wrap plan process. And we worked with
We're
Stone
not
Crab.
rapping, guys, just to clarify.
Yeah,
We're not,
it wasn't like
it's not
yo,
like
yo,
a,
yo.
what's
It was
up?
more like black rights. No.
Yeah, it was literally like for my people.
Yeah.
No, if you don't know what a RAP plan is, it's a reconciliation action plan. And
Yeah.
it was introduced so that organizations, any organization really in Australia, it's a plan to best support First Nations people in the business and to, I guess, we all talk about closing the gap.
Yeah.
And it was to help with, I guess, the closing of the employment gap. But there's a lot of other like social and emotional wellbeing parts to it as well, which you wouldn't think being in an organization was necessary, but is absolutely vital, I think, working with First Nations people to best understand why and how we work.
Yeah, I think it's super exciting for Nova and an important step for the future of the industry. It's the first commercial radio network that is putting a wrap together. So kudos to our Nova fam. We've loved working in this building and with this incredible company. So there's going to be more on this. We're going to actually do an episode based on reconciliation action plans, and we're going to get experts in to divulge what exactly that looks
We might
like.
even make a rap about our rap. Like
Oh.
that would be pretty funny.
I reckon you
Like
should.
what our targets are. I just probably chat GPT it, let's be honest.
True.
My best friend.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, when organizations talk about rap, there is a very different vibe, I feel like, with Nova. I've been on the co-design process previously with other organizations connected to the Department of Education, on like charity and not-for-profits. But this one just felt very different. It felt a bit like there was a need for it and there was like a willingness, and I really like that. And I think one of the common themes or words that were thrown around or slogans, I guess, was house proud. And I feel like
you actually mentioned that. That was your slogan.
Well, I feel like when you go to work, which we work as freelancers, so it's a very different vibe, right? Because we're being employed by a service, but technically we really just work for ourselves. So we're being contracted. So we don't have like an organization that we go to every single day. Like we do come here every week.
We
And
have
I
our touch
guess,
points in the industry. You know, for me, it's
Yeah.
Nova, NITV, and now Channel 7.
Woohoo.
Which is
Ooh.
super exciting. Something will be coming very soon, but I can't say
Oh
anything.
my God.
Yeah.
Dot.
So I'll be working 1 day a week at each of these.
Yeah.
Places,
See?
which is
Get your
cool.
little hands in a lot of
Yeah.
pies. Okay.
But I do want to. I don't want to
Yeah.
go too much into this. I just wanted to bring this to our audience and say that there's some incredible work that's being done behind the scenes when it comes to
But you
reconciliation.
have to give context.
Context is
Yes.
important, but I want to do an episode based on this where we get Stone Crab in, the organisation that Nova is working with, and we can really go into detail about why it's important, the historical context, which
Yeah.
is super important for people to
Which I just
understand.
touched a little bit on.
That's
but
right. But I do want to talk about change.
Yeah. Okay.
And I
yes,
think
there's lots of change happening in your
lots of-
life right now.
But I also think that, this is really exciting for the organisation in terms of change. But I want to talk about personal change,
Okay.
What's happening and the evolution of change and what it takes for someone to create change in their life, to make positive change in their life, I should say.
Yeah.
So I know that over the years, I think about my 20s as a decade, there's been ebbs and flows of
Have
me.
you already exited the 20s?
Girl, I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah. Girl, I am out. But for the last 75 days of my 20s, right, I'm doing the 75 hard challenge.
Very strategic. I love it.
So, and it came to me, I was sitting on my veranda, I was looking out at the view, picture this, beautiful blue sky day, me with my journal, and I'm writing a note to myself, I'm writing about what I want to see myself change. And then all of a sudden I was thinking about this 75 hard challenge that has been going viral over the last few months. And you will not believe it, that day was 75 days from my 30th birthday.
Yeah.
Isn't that the universe being like ding, 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 ding?
Serendipitous. Yeah.
So I, the next day I started, and from that point it was 75 days, to the 26th of May when I turned
And how
30.
are you feeling because you're halfway now?
I'm halfway.
What's some revelations that you've had halfway through? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, interestingly enough, I've done challenges in the past that have benefited me. I've done sobriety for 120 days last year was the length that I did that for. I've done small or short-term diets or short-term gym programs that have created change, but I haven't been to the extreme that 75 hard is. So let me just explain what 75 hard is for the listeners. So 75 hard is a list of things that you need to do every day which challenge you emotionally, physically, and mentally. I would even say spiritually. By the end of the day, to read those 10 pages in the book, I'm like, God, give me strength. But there are certain things that you need to tick off in the day, and this is the list. So you need to do 2 workouts, 1 indoor, 1 outdoor. You need to drink 3,750 milliliters of water, which is basically 4 liters of water. Mm-hmm. You need to read 10 pages of a book, any book. You need to journal. You need to take a progress photo, and you need to make sure that you're following a healthy diet. So no cheat meals, no fizzy drinks, no sugar, no ice cream. So there's a list of things you need to do every day, and there's an app, and it really helps me. Accountability really helps me. So when I can go in and tick something off, it actually is really beneficial for me. And so this challenge, I'm halfway through. Some of the challenges that I've found within this is the feeling of detoxing. So I haven't been to this extreme of a challenge where everything that is normal in my life has changed. Sometimes I've done the, no drinking alcohol for a certain period of time or eating healthy, but then there's always been substitutes for certain things. And in this challenge, you haven't been able to substitute. So it's an extreme challenge.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty intense.
It
I'm not
is.
going to say off the bat. I mean, I did I wouldn't say 75 soft, but I thought about incorporating some of those things into my daily life. But I feel like I've kind of already, not the 2 workouts a day, that's a bit too much for me.
Totally.
I think I walk twice a day, so I am kind of active twice a day.
And it can be a walk. One of those exercises outdoors could be a walk. So for instance, if I'm really sore, I'm like, okay, I'll run for 25 minutes and I'll walk for 20. So it's not putting your body through the ringer constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
which I think is what people could do is 75 hard. They could go absolutely hard, but it's more about just challenging and like making conscious choices, right?
Yeah, and I think you should challenge yourself in the sense that like you should push yourself. For instance, last night I went for a run. I didn't get that second workout in until 9:30 p.m. and I went for a run. I got back, but then overnight I realized that my left foot was injured. You know, so I woke up in the middle of the night to a really bad, sharp pain of my left foot, took some Panadol, it sort of went away. But now I'm going to take that into today's workout, you know?
To be
more mindful that I'm pushing my body to the limit. And so maybe I might go and do push-ups and squats and chin-ups at the park instead of going for that run.
Yeah.
So, there's just different things you can implement to help yourself.
So what are, I guess, going back to the question, is like, what are some revelations that you've had throughout this challenge, like that have like, I don't know, come to you?
Yeah.
Like what has this really pushed you on? Is it the physical challenge, or is it the emotional or the spiritual?
You know, what it's really made me understand is that I'm not a go with the flow guy.
Okay.
So if I go with the flow is going to take me to places that I should not be. Honestly.
Okay.
So
it's taking you to whoop whoop.
Well, I just think that what I've realized is when I have structure, when I have routine, discipline, and self-accountability, those things really help me with my mental health, and they help me get closer to where I want to be in life, you know, to my personal goals.
Yeah.
So going with the flow is not for me. And I'm halfway through this challenge, and having that revelation has been such like a profound moment for me, because for so many years I've always felt like things will work out, just go with the flow. And what I'm realizing is that like when you go with the flow, you're leaving it up to other people's decisions, other people's, you know, wants and needs of your life. And when you don't go with the flow, when you're really proactive in getting shit done, I feel like you're in the driver's seat of your destiny. So you're actually like steering your life, you know. So that's one revelation I've had is to not go with the flow anymore. The other thing that I've realized is that I've never felt what it's like to detox.
Okay.
Fully.
What does detox incorporate like?
I'll talk about the feeling of detox for me. Yeah. I've had some big challenges with the 75 Hard challenge to the point where I've felt angry. And I've had these emotions come to the surface that normally I wouldn't allow myself to feel. So I don't like to feel, I don't know many people who do, but I don't like to feel angry. So I was having the feeling of anger, and I was thinking to myself, why do I feel like this? This isn't natural for me. And it happened.
Angry at like what?
Smallest things. It could be the fact that I put this coffee cup down and it went like that, and like it spilt, and that would make me so angry when generally in my life, that would not make me angry. Or I could
like spilt milk kind of things.
The smallest things were getting on my nerves. Ooh. And I was thinking to myself, it's that there's a hormonal imbalance in my body currently because I'm detoxing from sugar. I think sugar is something that like has been a part of my life for a long time. Alcohol, just all these elements that had to go out the door for this challenge. They're no longer a part of my world. And I think that there was like visceral reaction to this. And that's been one of the biggest challenges, feeling what detox feels like.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine how hard that must be for people who are deep in addiction or anything in their life that they feel like has a stronghold in their world. And then they have to sort of fight through that. I've had like the smallest glimpse into that, and it's been a struggle for me. So,
because you're self-aware enough to like see there is something uncomfortable.
Yeah.
See it for what it could be.
Yeah.
But naming it.
Yeah.
And then being like, okay, I need to like challenge myself on that, or like I need to like overcome that, or like I need to,
or just
that's huge, or just growth.
Realize like, what it is, you know. So it's just going, okay, I'm feeling angry, but there's nothing really that's happening right now that I should be feeling this way. There's no one's making me angry. Like it could be the smallest thing that I'm feeling like these little things.
Is it angry or is it irritated? Like, are you feeling irritable? Okay. So
but like, for instance, the other day, my fridge stopped working, right?
That'd fuck me off.
But I went to move the fridge. I'm not an aggressive person. And I yanked the fridge and I broke the cord. But that's because the frustration of this feeling. It
He's like, I'm strong.
So I had to get the fucking fridge repairman to come out, $400 later, fixing the cord and that I broke. But I've had that feeling in different areas of my life recently, and I can tell that it's from this challenge. And
you're like,
I'm just getting through
maybe
it.
it's sugar cravings. Being
It
like,
is. Totally.
give me the fucking Kit Kat.
Give me the fucking Kit Kat. But
Wait, that's what I'd be like. I'd be like, fuck.
but I am enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm through that moment now. So I haven't been getting angry the last few days.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
And I've realised what that was. I'm looking forward to the second half of this challenge. And then the day that I finish, May 26th, I actually fly to Europe.
Hell yeah.
That evening. You know what I'm going to do? I'm
Okay.
going to eat whatever the fuck I want on that plane to
But
Europe.
then you are flooding your body with like all the shit that you've deprived yourself of for like 75 days. That's not going to be a good scenario. I can tell you now.
No,
because
well, I'm
done
flying straight
bodybuilding.
into Rome, babe. I'm flying into Rome.
Exactly. And
I'm
you're
going to get
be-
off that
you're
plane.
eating
Pasta.
gyros. Exactly.
Pasta, pizza.
Oh,
So-
don't. I reckon
Why?
ease yourself in. No, because like I
That's
just
the reward
know.
for putting yourself through. And look, it's not
100%
going to be
reward yourself.
It's not going to be a consistent thing. In my European holiday, I'm going to be
Okay.
eating crazy and drinking and doing all these things. It's more the fact that like when I get off that plane and I step into Rome, one of my favorite things in the world is a good pasta dish.
Yes. Reward
Like,
yourself
I'm
with
gonna
that.
eat that pasta. You know,
But like I know, like I have been on those restrictive sort of things. This is in no way supporting like this is the healthy choice because
Yeah.
it like really fucked me up when I
Yeah.
was like 18. I was doing that IFBB pro like body like no one really knows this about me. It's so
Yeah.
weird, but like. Yeah, and I was just literally eating chicken, rice, broccoli like every
I've done
day.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not. And then when I did the comp, and like I I honed into all of this stuff. I felt so fucking sick, and like I feel like it's just sort of created this yo-yo for
Yeah.
so many years. So
Yeah.
just be like, I don't know. I think like I support the 75 hard,
Yeah.
but I support like having a balance of like reaping the rewards but not overdoing it.
Yeah.
Because like fuck, you will your body will just not be ready for
Yeah.
that. Especially if you've you're not deprived, but you've you're having these like cravings but you're not giving it,
Yeah.
like they're still going to be there for
Yeah.
a while.
yeah.
Like,
Well, you know what?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about body and science. Like
Yeah.
I do, like my own body, but
Yeah.
I just worry like sometimes that creates such a bad cycle.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
thing is, what I want to make sure that people who are listening, this isn't for everyone.
For
I
sure.
don't want to recommend anything. This is something that
You're doing for your own
I know
growth.
about myself
Yeah.
is that if I want to make change in my life, for me personally, I need to make, big decisions for big change. And I think that like I was looking for something. I was on the search for a challenge to put myself through, and I don't think that it's for everyone. I don't think that everyone needs to do it, and I don't think that like if you love ice cream and chocolate and fizzy drink, go and eat it. Like,
Fucking eat it,
you
yeah.
know, do what you need to do to make you happy. One of the best things in the world, one of the most joyous things is having a meal. So you do you, boo.
I think it's hugely courageous for you to do this.
Mm.
One, like I think it's like you said, it's not for everyone, but one, it takes commitment, and you have committed. You
Yeah.
are committed.
I'm in it.
Yeah, you're halfway through. So I
Yeah.
have to acknowledge, like that is courageous. The self-awareness that I've seen from you, like just in this short period of time, I reckon has like excelled massively.
Okay,
Like
that's
I
good to
think
know.
you're looking at yourself, you're not picking yourself apart, which I think
Yeah.
is the best thing. I
Yeah.
think you're looking at yourself, you're noticing some patterns of behavior and you're changing it.
Yeah.
And I think that that is growth, that is evolving, that is evolution. You're only going to get better. But I also worry like sometimes you are very hard on yourself.
I am.
And you're
I
like,
am.
if I don't do this, I am a
Yeah.
failure.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to believe that.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I am hard on myself, but I've had so many people in my life say to me, when I wanted to make change, I've had people come at me with the soft approach, which works for some people, which is that don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself.
But you want that. You crave that.
For me, to create change, and I'm talking me personally, not for everyone, I need to be hard on myself, because the first thing when someone says to me, don't be hard on yourself, my mind can go to making excuses for bad behavior. Don't be too hard on yourself. You know, you can do this. You're allowed to do this. Why wouldn't you? It's just living your life. Go and have fun. Don't be too hard on yourself. I have told myself that for so long, and I know that doesn't work for me. So that's the whole idea of not going with the flow. I need structure, routine, discipline, and that's not for everyone, but for me to be at my best, I need that. And also, what I would say...
But you're creating it yourself, regardless of what people are saying and doing as well.
I don't think if we flipped this, it would work for you. I don't think the strong, No.
It would.
I don't think it would.
It would.
No, you're more, you're more a go with the flow person.
I am absolutely not go with the flow.
Are you sure?
I don't know where you got that from.
Really?
When have I ever been go with the flow? Oh, with you? Yeah.
No. Just like in your own world, like in your own life, would you say you're more of like structure, discipline,
ask my girlfriend.
Regimented, or
ask my
go
girlfriend.
with the flow? Okay.
Regimented.
Yeah.
To the fucking T.
Okay.
But the thing is, like...
I would think you're not.
It's so funny because there's this trend happening now, and it's like type A and type B. Have you seen it? Okay, so there's a type A girlfriend and then there's a type B boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And the type A, which is me, and I assume maybe I would say Danny is probably more of a type A.
Is that Black Cat?
Similar to, but it's like type A is like, we need to be here on time. We like I've already ordered us something done. Like it's very regimented and very strict.
Is it in the driver's seat of the relationship?
Well, not necessarily, because like type B is like this really fun, like I'm going to be late to the fucking airport. I like run on schedule, like to the last minute. A. Yeah. But
Jenny will be type B for sure.
Oh, okay. So the opposite. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny because I would interpret that the opposite.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I'd say me is probably more of a type B. She would hate that because she was like, well, type B don't contribute to anything. And I'm like, you're just the vibes.
The vibes.
But it was a joke. But like she does.
Jenny, then. Yep.
But it unpacks like I guess for me, when she was reading one of them, she was like, this is you to the T, where it's like, I need to be leaving at a certain time. I need to be at this. And you would say I'm always late, but I'm actually not. Like, that's the fucking thing. Like,
You're
I'm
not always. I wouldn't say always, but I think punctuality, I don't know if that's your strong suit.
But a lot of other people would say it is.
What it is.
100%.
Well, then why? So
because I've been late to things that we've done together.
Yeah.
But other people, I haven't. When I'm putting a reliance on other people, because in my own fucking mind, I know what I need to do, but it's everyone else that kind of like fucks me up sometimes.
Okay.
And I get frustrated at that because I'm not in control.
You're not in control. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. Are you the type of person that when you're leaving the house, you say to your partner, so your type B partner, hey, we have to leave at 12:30?
Yes.
Okay, great. Because I do that to Denny.
And she doesn't even look at her phone when she's getting ready. And I'm like, so what I do now, and
Isn't that frustrating?
Now... Because, when you're in that early stages, it's fine, like you're figuring each other out and it's like, okay. But now I'm like...
5-minute call.
No, I say, look, let's get ready. And I get ready in like 30 seconds. Like I'm fucking quick as shit.
Same.
And then I sit and just like plot around. I've tidy things.
Shake the keys.
And I say to her, hey, babe, just letting you know you've got 20 minutes and then we have to go.
Yeah.
And so I put a time stamp on it.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is like an hour before we need to be there. Or 45 at least.
So you
I
give
work
a buffer.
backwards. I work backwards. I'm like, okay, we need to be at this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to be leaving, like, I'm going to give it, like, 40 minutes to, like, wherever we're going. Yeah. Like, if it's a podcast, it's an hour away.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm working backwards, right?
Yeah.
And I give her, like, I get ready, so as soon as I fucking can, and then just allow her to have the space and time to do whatever she needs to do.
Does she make it on time?
She still plots around. I must admit, she's like, "Oh, I still need to do my hair."
3 minutes to go, and you're like, "How haven't they? How?" Like, or they're taking, like for instance, this is the scenario with Danny. We'll be eating breakfast. I'll finish my breakfast. I'll brush my teeth, and I'll come out. He's still sitting at the breakfast table. Right. All right. Well, babe, we're going to leave at 9:30, so that's like in 17 minutes. Because just in case there's traffic, we have to be there. Blah blah blah. He will get in the shower and have a long ass shower, like he's got half an hour. So then knock on the shower door. Hey, babe, just so you know, we've got about 10 minutes.
And then we got to go.
And then that last 2 minutes, he's scrambling.
I'm like, why?
I'm like, you had all the time. All the time. So I'm type A when it comes to my relationship. Actually, I'm type A pretty much a lot.
Yeah.
I know where punctuality comes into it for me. And it comes into it from my childhood. I've worked through this, and I really want to get into therapy because therapy has helped me change a lot as well. But one thing
You're back in therapy?
I am back in therapy.
Woo.
And with a new therapist who I really enjoy.
Okay.
Very practical. She writes the whole time. It's like she's that medium who's seeing things on the other side. I love her. She's like, yep. What was their name? It's like she's gonna have a fucking novel by the time I'm done. And
you go.
I'm gonna say, can I have all those pieces of paper? And so anyway, I wanted to talk about punctuality only because in therapy I had a realization that when I was younger, I was so scared of people not turning up because my mum never turned up. Even my dad, when we moved with him, was never punctual. I was always left. So was left at school waiting until the sun, was going down for her to pick me up, or left in, the refuges and she'd be out all day. So like there was a lot of the times that I was just left as a kid and waiting, and she would say, I'll be here at this time, and she just wasn't. So I think that that's inner work that I have to work on it, and knowing that not everyone is going to be on time in my life, and that's okay, but it is something that I know that is a personal trigger for me, It
is for me as well, which is crazy. Yeah. And every time I have been late, I have honestly felt anxious the whole day. Like it's triggered me so much that if it's a morning thing, it's triggered me that much that it takes me a while to actually come back and recover from that. I know it sounds so small and so like
these are deep-rooted things though, aren't they?
But they are, and like I'd rather be early so then I have like the minute to myself to actually just decompress. Like today, like I just had a spare minute to get a coffee, sit, do my emails, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Great. Like,
love that. Blackfella time?
Yeah.
But it actually is a thing.
It frustrates me.
It frustrates me as well, but it actually is a thing. It is the opposite of who we are inherently as people, to be so rigid and structured. Even though I say to you, I can't go with the flow, our culture is very much go with the flow.
And a lot of other cultures are as well.
Totally.
So like Mimin and I, we were with her parents, and her dad and her stepmom was talking about how like her family is very go with the flow. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, my family are like that as well. But I just cannot.
I'm the opposite. And I think it's because the go with the flow didn't work for me as a young person. So I've seeked out this structure and routine, which,
Well, it helps you have control of your life.
Totally.
Because a lot of things I think in your early childhood, personally for me, this is not just as my experience, is that I wasn't in control of a lot of things when I was younger. So I try to do that now. Like routine and structure have helped you get to where you have really.
Yeah.
I think in my early childhood, a lot of things were not in my control.
Yeah.
And the biggest growth and learning and pivotal moments were, huge trauma moments. But in those moments, it helped me have a perspective that was like, okay, we'll press reset. Like we can press reset here in a sense. Yep. It's like
how many times do you think you've done that in your life? Press reset.
Quite a few times. Yep. I think moving away from my family when my mum died and like choosing to live, well, not really choosing. I didn't really have anyone else to go to. Like this is a sad reality, and I think I often am quite dismissive of some things in my life because I'm just so desensitized, as you would know.
Yeah. Talk about it like it's someone else's life.
100%.
Yeah,
and I think like I need to not do that sometimes, but it just helps me like not be so consumed
and not
by
live
it.
in it.
Yeah, I don't want to live in it. I'm really happy with where I am. But Mim like was obviously trying to unpack a little bit about my life, and she wants to better understand me, and I get that, and I have to explain things to her and provide context because sometimes I could just be like so blasé about it. And she's like, where does that come from? In this relationship, I've like honestly felt the most calm I've felt in a relationship, like the most secure.
Wow.
And it's so crazy. Like normally I'd probably be a little bit more leaning towards the like anxious attachment kind of style. But in this relationship, like love Mim and she acknowledges this, but she's probably more of that like anxious attachment where I'm the secure one, which is so different to what I'm used to. But it's because I like love her so much and that I want it to work, and I see so much potential in our relationship, and I want to try and be like the rock and like the ground for her, which I've always been for everyone else.
Yeah.
But I've never been with someone that makes me feel so secure in that as well.
Wow.
So she's also like pretty secure in herself. Like, you know, I like, and it's so nice. There's this like nice little balance.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've noticed is that in moments, like I try to control the environment, but I have really taken my foot off the pedal in some things. So like I will have an idea of like, we need to do like, I guess Perth. We're going to Perth this week.
Yeah.
She's meeting my family.
When do you leave?
Friday afternoon.
By the time this is out, you would have already gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm just, you know, and I feel like in my head, I like already know what my family are going to be like. I've got to try and control the situation where she won't have like an uncomfortable experience.
Are you
whatever.
staying with your family?
No, we're house sitting, which is good,
Yep.
away from everyone.
Yep.
But like in my head, I'm like, okay, you know, and I'm like, no, I can't. I've got to let her figure it out.
Let them.
Yes, let them. And like, I think that's been a big growth for a moment, is like taking my foot off the pedal at different points and not trying to control every single environment and just letting it unfold how it should. And it's been the best thing.
You know what my therapist said to me once? Stop manipulating the world.
100%. Yeah.
And
but it's a control thing.
it's a control thing.
Yeah.
You want to be able to feel secure and safe.
And that's fine. It's okay to control the environment to make you feel safe. And I think that's probably one thing that I really talk about, that calmness, is that I feel very safe in this relationship.
Yeah.
I feel very seen. And it's so fucking crazy because I have not felt like this in such a long time. Like it's insane. Like I literally like shake my head every day. I'm like, how the fuck? Like, was I doing it wrong all this time? But I was like, I've just met a great person who makes me feel that. Like, do you know what I mean? And like,
I love that for you. I love that.
But I guess I was talking about those pivotal growth moments, is that I've had to make really big decisions in those moments. And I didn't know they were going to be growth moments or like pivotal moments. I was just making decisions. But those decisions were, I guess, like in survival mode. And I think my thing is I'm not in survival mode anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be.
I'm making decisions based off joy and not surviving. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I'm like, let's do that because it's fun. And I'm like, no, let's not do that because I need the paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's actually so cool. Like, I'm like, what are we going to do today? We don't have a plan. And I've actually realized that I am helping also Mim help heal her relationship with her family, because I crave family so much because I love my family and I'm not away from them, that I'm like, oh, let's go hang out with your family. And she's like, I don't do that, but like, let's do it. And I'm like, okay. Well, she used to do it and she is getting better. Like, she's like, okay,
I can resonate with that. I did that with my ex Paul. I did that with his family. But what I will say to that is that was one of the most appealing parts of our relationship, the family unit, and reflecting on that, that actually was a major part as to why I stayed.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Because
crazy.
I enjoyed the family unit, and the stability and the community. So just not that that's what you're doing, but being aware of that is important. But I want to know how it goes when she goes back to your family. So let's touch on that in the next episode, like how that trip went. Would love to know more. Maybe we can get Mim on and tell us about her Perth experience.
I know. She'll come on. She'll be like, I'm going to unload.
Well, I think that's probably a good place to wrap because we've been yarning for a little while now. But I'm looking forward to hearing about your Perth trip.
I have to just finish this off by saying, like, it takes a lot of, like I said before, it takes a lot of courage to want to grow in stepping out and being uncomfortable. And I think, we've spoken about self-awareness, which I think is really beautiful to have that. A lot of people don't have that self-awareness. Yeah. And I think that kind of having an understanding of not just yourself, but I guess also how other people work and how other people contribute to your life is huge perspective. Like, I think that's the best thing. But I think the best thing, for what you've said, because I've learned so much about having a challenge and, like, what comes through, is that you are continuing to strive or to choose. I think choice is huge, to not limit or reduce yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best thing, is that you are, and I always draw inspiration from you at some points, because sometimes I can get stuck in a cycle and I'm like, I'm quite content, I'm happy, because nothing is like sparking off and going, bah, 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 and I'm like, oh, gotta just chill for a moment, right?
Yeah.
Because if I start changing things, that's when I'm like not comfortable.
Yeah.
And like, I'm okay with that. There's been moments when I've been okay with that.
Yeah.
And you know that, like, but I think it's like both of us are always like pushing to grow and evolve, because we refuse to let ourselves be small.
Yeah.
And small, like, not like size wise. I mean small as in like limit ourselves to a life that we think that we don't deserve, or like deserve, like, it's you get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I think our whole lives we've always pushed for a better world,
and I just encourage other people to do that. Like,
I agree.
I think I get really confused, or I guess a bit perplexed about how people can just stay in the same city and do the same thing. But if they're happy and content, I have to accept that and respect that, obviously. But I'm like, there is such a bigger world out there, and there's so many people to meet, and there's so many things to learn. Why would you not want to enjoy that?
Everything is possible as well, I think sometimes you can be so wrapped up in your world, but when you have new experiences that bring on growth, like, you really open up your world. So I would encourage people to take on a challenge, any challenge that may be. It might be that every morning when you get up that you journal. It might be that you go for a walk. It might be that you
I think also, like, people think that you have to have like some sort of mental health condition or some sort of trauma to go see a therapist. But I really encourage like going and speaking to someone who is unbiased. It helps. Yeah, like it might take you a while to like find a therapist. Yeah. But like, I just think therapy is just really helpful to just like talking and just like verbalizing shit.
Yeah.
Because when do you ever really unload and verbal other than in your relationship or like to your family, like, but to someone who's like unbiased.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Anyways, that's my little tip and trick. But,
Great. Love it. Take it into your week, you mob. But that's all we have time for today. If you love what you hear, leave us a little rating and a little review. We always love to hear from you. So I want to just say this. Whenever we receive your messages online or on socials, like I've received a lot lately about the pod, and I love it. So keep them coming. Jump in the DMs. I'm always up for a chat. My handle is at It's Maddie Mills. Brooks is at Brooke.Blurton.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.